Come on. You guys want to see a dead body? Hi, I'm Orange Hat, and I'm here with an ambassador of goodwill and a smoking hot co-host down below because she smokes cigars and she's hot.
Hey,
And yeah, so we're here because I am high on coffee and caffeine.
feeling real jittery now.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. We're fucking doing the weekly recap. Anyway, yeah, it's number 56, right? Yeah, we're on number 56. We got some craziness to discuss. Fucking tomorrow's inauguration day. The world is healing. The freaking Holy Grail has been found, and the land is regenerating. Kind of like the theme to our movie discussion tonight, which is of Excalibur 1981, a very twisted fucking take on the Arthurian legends with some rather graphic shit.
But somewhat accurate.
Somewhat accurate,
Yeah.
yes, but some also graphic shit in there. So before we get started,
Yeah.
if you want to
Well,
like
it's
my channel,
1980s. What do you expect?
It's a trip. It's a trip.
silence.
Sorry.
Not done my intro, goddammit.
Okay.
If you like my channel and want to support my channel, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. You know the drill. Trying to get to 2,000. Thank you for getting me back up to 1,600, folks. I do appreciate it. I was at 1,600 before the year was out, so I did kind of reach a small goal. But now I'm back up to 1,600. The goal is 2,000. So any help there is awesome. I'm also live on X, so yeah. And yeah, also subscribe to this guy. He's a content creator. His name's Ambassador. He does all sorts of ambassadorial stuff. So, Ambassador, why don't you give yourself a plug and say hi?
Hello to all of you out there in internet land. Great to be back once again on the weekly recap here on Orange Hat. And if you like movie discussions, if you like discussions on old school and modern TV series, go check out my channel. Currently sitting at 515 subscribers, nowhere near as successful as my good friend here to my right, your left, but I'm working on it. A couple of things I'm going to be coming up and everything for the channel. Going to be continuing the Tarantino podcast. Going to be recording the next episode here this coming Friday. Going to be discussing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And going to be doing a live stream review with my good friend MB Geek. We're going to be discussing a pair of films from the 1990s that we both know and love. The Count of Monte Cristo, starring Mr. James Caviezel, and The Relic, starring the late, great Tom Sizemore and Penelope Ann Miller. So, and got a few other things planned, so keep an eye out. And once again, thanks to our magnanimous host for having us here tonight.
Count of Monte Cristo is 2000s, by the way.
Fair enough. 1990s/2000s.
It's still a good movie, don't get me wrong. And Relic is freaking pure for awesomeness. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, with that out of the way, folks, we are not going to, or I do not require a share screen for this first story. Apparently, Carrie Underwood is singing America the Beautiful at Trump's inauguration. And people are freaking out. They also had
in a good way.
Dogg, Nelly, and all sorts of other people. I love what Nelly said, but Carrie Underwood, everybody's like, well, here's what you could do. All these losers on TikTok that lost their platform, by the way, earlier today. It's back now, but
It's back.
love
Yeah.
the panic that they have. Yeah, they got the 90-day extension. Trump's giving them a 90-day extension.
It was just fun to
and
see
then
the freak out because you
Yes.
could
Yeah.
see like who's addicted to it. Like, not once in my entire life have I ever woken up and then like gone on to any social media platform, whatever, like Facebook, whatever, and then if it didn't work, I would freak out. Like it's just funny seeing everybody like, oh my god, TikTok.
TikTok's
Yeah, I
gone.
know.
Whatever shall we do?
Go to
How am I
Instagram,
gonna
all the reels are on there. Like,
All
how am I gonna
all
make
the
money?
child porn is on there too. So yeah, go to
oh
Instagram if
shit,
you're one of
too.
those
Yeah,
fucking
you're
How am I
right.
sick
gonna?
freaks.
How am I
I
gonna make?
can't
How am I gonna
stand.
make? How am I going to promote my OnlyFans? But
We're
yes,
doing.
Carrie Underwood, the beautiful, the glamorous, the extremely talented, the way better than Taylor Swift ever will be in her whole entire life. It's going to be a Trump's inauguration, and all I have to say, in quoting one of my favorite movies, indeed there was much rejoicing. Yay!
I mean, what did like? Do they want him blacklisted? Like, so every single artist ever, won't like. If you can bring out Beyonce and Katy Perry and all of them for the Democrat platform, and this isn't even. She's not even at a rally. It's just an inauguration. Like, she's probably is she singing the national anthem or is she doing like a performance?
She's
America
just
the
saying
Beautiful.
America the Beautiful, I think.
Okay,
I think that's
so come on, people. She's singing a song about America. She's an
yeah,
American. She's a country star.
yeah,
It's an inauguration. Like,
yeah.
chill. You know? It doesn't mean she endorses the guy. It doesn't mean anything except, hey, we got this talented performer to perform.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not to mention, she's a
But
lot better
yeah,
looking.
well, yeah, that too. I mean, the thing is, folks, Nelly also was catching backlash and stuff, and oh my god, this guy was bitching and yelling at him on a podcast, and it's like, dude, first off, you're fucking trying to yell at this dude that you brought onto your podcast, who was actually nice enough to come onto your fucking podcast. But then, I mean, Nelly basically shut this dude down. Hey, Sakura
Yeah.
Mita, good to see you. But I love how Nelly did that. But Carrie Underwood, staying on topic here,
Mm-hmm.
everybody freaking out. The cackling crones on The View, they were freaking out about it. It's like, here's the thing. Y'all ain't gonna go to the inauguration. You're all gonna skip the inauguration. So who the fuck gives a shit what you honestly think? I mean, honestly, to the women of The View, and this is in all sincerity, by the way, nobody or your opinion literally means less to America than Christ to an atheist.
That's saying something.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's actually
your opinions
Orange,
are
that's-
for shit. That's basically the truth of it. Because here's the thing:
Well,
you're costing ABC more money than they can spend with your legal notes. Sorry, Ambassador, you wanted to say something.
Well, here's the thing. Carrie Underwood has more talent in her pinky finger than the entire cast of The View. And let's be honest here, they're probably just jealous because she looks better now. She'll probably look better when she's their age than they look now. Because let's be honest here, the Sanderson sisters look better than The View. if you know, you know. Not to mention the Sanderson
One of
sisters.
them
Yes,
was
they were.
actually on The View.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about specifically the characters, not so much the actresses
Joy
who played
Behar.
the.
Yeah, Joy Behar could be the fourth Sanderson sister.
oh, for sure.
Now that's an
1000.
insult to the Sanderson sisters. No. The Sanderson sisters may be witches, but they're better than Joy Behar, and that's not difficult.
They worship
Yeah, Sarah Jessica
Satan,
Parker still
but
looked
okay.
good in '93.
Yeah.
I'm
But
saying
yeah,
that
I
nicely.
get what you're saying.
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say,
But yeah, it's this
Carrie
whole
Underwood
thing about
saying
everybody.
they
Oh,
gotta
we
do
need to.
like me because she's the best female artist in country music, except for Reba McEntire.
Yeah.
End of story. As for the Sanderson sisters, I don't like Bette Midler. Can't stand her, but she does sing really good. So
Yes.
from the movie,
Yeah, she
number
does.
1, the Hocus Pocus 1,
I agree, Mrs.
it was
Ambassador.
a slam dunk. 2, I'm not gonna talk about.
Shout out to Mrs. Ambassador.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree, Mrs. Ambassador.
Madam.
Yep.
It's
Shout out to
Madam
Mrs. Ambassador. Thank you for providing
Madam,
your.
Madam Ambassador. My apologies.
Yeah, Madam.
That's okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yep. No,
Honey,
no,
you're
no.
fine.
You are always welcome to come on here and shout through your husband's mic.
You give good. You get like it's good addition to the topic.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
good input.
absolutely.
It's input from
Right.
off stage. It's the offstage minute from Madam Ambassador.
Yes.
That
Okay,
should be
moving
a
on.
thing for now on. I mean, seriously, yeah,
So, like,
that could be a thing for
And
now.
to
on.
Madam Ambassador.
The
Yeah,
offstage
right.
minute. Yeah. The offstage minute with Madam Ambassador. Yeah. That should definitely
I'll
be a
talk
thing.
to her.
But anyway, yes, moving on.
Moving on.
The next one is Neil Gaiman. According to what I learned, this dude is a writer of some sort.
Mhm.
But this dude has some seriously twisted kinks, and he's been accused of sexual assault. Now, I know I'm not supposed to say stuff like that on my YouTube channel, but I don't give a shit. I have free speech. I'm an American, goddammit. And so
Yes.
he has denied all these allegations, but how he denied these allegations are exact, and I quote, "I don't see it as abuse."
His
I'm like,
statement was weird. It was like
so what exactly did he do? Because I'm a little in the dark here.
we're going to get into it, Ambassador. Seriously, we are going to get into it. So
Accused of
I'm going to go
something.
over to this article, folks. Y'all know the drill. Let me know how I'm doing audio-wise
On
if I start
audio.
skipping.
Yeah.
Yep. So, Sandman writer Neil Gaiman accused of sexual assault by 9 women. So, 4 new allegations are surfacing among nearly a dozen allegations from women who say award-winning novelist Neil Gaiman sexually assaulted them. Vulture published a report Monday outlining the new allegations against Gaiman, as well as allegations first revealed last year. Gaiman, 64, is the famed English fantasy writer behind The Sandman, Good Omens, American Gods, and Coraline. Or Coraline, or what? I don't care how you pronounce
Coraline.
it. It's weird.
Coraline.
Okay, fine.
You got it right the first time.
Yeah. All of which have been turned into film and television adaptations, among others. The 6-episode podcast series of the UK media outlet Tortoise, titled Master, the Allegations Against Neil Gaiman. Yeah, he sounds like a gay man, all right. He absolutely loves women, so he's definitely a gay man. Yeah. Anyway,
but
during the summer of 2024, first outlined 5 allegations of sexual assault. Investigation includes 4 allegations that share elements with theirs, and the outlet is said to have reviewed texts, diary entries, emails with friends, and police communications. Now, folks, before we go any further, here's a disclaimer. What you are about to hear and read is not meant for kids. Get them out of the room. Cover their ears. Knock them out. I don't care how you do it. Just make sure they are not around, because what you are about to hear is graphic stuff.
you've been warned.
So, yes, you have been warned. Now, the youngest alleged victim was 18, but most of the women were in their 20s when the alleged assaults occurred, while Gaiman was in his 40s or older, with one exception in which a woman claimed the writer forcibly kissed her in 1986 when Gaiman was in his mid-20s. Some of the women were fans, and a few worked with him at a time of the alleged incidents. Gaiman's representatives have responded to some outlets claiming the incidents were consensual instances of practicing BDSM, bondage, discipline, dominance, and submission, sadism, and masochism. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. Gaiman has responded to the allegations in a lengthy open letter shared on his official website Tuesday. While the author acknowledged he was careless with people's hearts and feelings, he vehemently denied the claims of sexual abuse, adding, "I'm not willing to turn my back on the truth. I don't accept there was any abuse," is basically what he said. Now, one woman, Scarlett Pavlovich, explained that she began working as a nanny for Gaiman's then estranged second wife, Amanda Palmer, in 2022, when Gaiman allegedly assaulted her in a bathtub on his property. After surprising her and joining her in a bath, she said Gaiman made conversation more or before physically assaulting her and directing her to call him master. As Pavlovich continued to babysit, she recalled more alleged incidents of forcible oral and anal whoopee, shall we say. Not a reference to Whoopi Goldberg. Without
Or is it?
lubrication. Could be. But anyway, she says at one point she passed out from the pain, as well as being forced to ingest her own waste, all while being called a slave. As I said, this is graphic, folks.
Yeah, it's hard. It was hard to read, and now it's hard to listen to too. So yeah.
Yeah. Another woman named Kendall recalled Gaiman allegedly forced himself on top of her and kissing her on a tour bus in 2012. One woman, Kendra Stout, recalled a relationship with Gaiman that started in 2003, and she claims turned physically torturous, at times beating her or subjecting her to rough whoopee. Stout explained to the outlet one instance in which she told Gaiman they could not have whoopee because she had a painful UTI. But he ignored her wishes. A woman named Caroline began a whoopee relationship with Gaiman while living on his property after her husband moved out of the house in 2018, when Caroline recalled being in a vulnerable place for 2 years. Including an instance where, while Coraline was reading to his then 4-year-old son in bed, Gaiman climbed on her and put her hands on his with the boy in between them. This dude needs serious prison time.
Yeah, that's child abuse. Like,
that's not just child abuse. That is felonious sexual conduct upon a minor.
Yeah, that was probably the most egregious, and the rest of it's pretty bad too. But I was like, oh, the kid? Oh, no. Oh.
Yeah. Now, he didn't have boundaries. I remember thinking there was something really wrong with him. Obviously, there is if these allegations are true. Folks, I cannot validate or confirm the validity of these accusations. A person is allowed their due process. However, if this is taken or going on in the UK, I feel sorry for the victims, because it's for the victim, or it's for him to prove there wasn't anything going on. Eventually, Caroline ended the encounters and was forced to move off Gaiman's property in exchange for signing a 16-page NDA and a payment of $300,000. And that is all from this article, folks. Essentially, this woman, or the Pavlovich woman, there was further stuff in which he basically went into another room, urinated on his palm, came back and touched her and shit with it, and forced her to lick it off and whatnot. It's disgusting stuff. And all of this while in front of his kid. So, yeah, there was other stuff that went on in front of the child. And I gotta say, this dude is a seriously fucked up individual. He needs to
That's
be
beyond
prosecuted.
king. It's beyond just king. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's beyond anything sexual. That is plain old enslavement, sexual enslavement.
Yeah, because if you're on his property, and I don't know, like, the whole situation isn't given, but like, let's say, hey, you're moving out, or you're going through a divorce, your husband moved out, you moved onto Gaiman's property. There's this, like, sort of, that landlord, tenant relationship, and then I don't know. I'd like to know. Actually, I don't want to know more, but it seems that powerful people use their power to, subjugate others, and if that's what's happening, this dude deserves some jail time, some serious jail time,
Well,
if
here's
the
the
allegations
thing.
are true.
When it comes to NDAs, folks, there is a loophole in NDAs. They're automatically void if they are being used to cover up a crime.
Correct. Yeah.
And these women are alleging that a crime happened. So yeah, if it does turn out that he is sued for this, and it turns out that he is found guilty of it, those NDAs will automatically be voided, and they can talk about it. Ambassador,
I
you've been
wonder-
awfully silent. Let's hear your opinion.
Yeah, go.
Well, I was letting you have your say, Kate.
I was just like, one thing I was just gonna say is with the treatment that like Johnny Depp got for false allegations and how he was dropped by everybody, and Gaiman is really popular. You know, Sandman's on Netflix, and you got American Gods on was it AMC or whatever. He has a lot of projects, a lot of books, a lot of comics. I hope he's treated with the same scrutiny that Johnny Depp was treated with, if it comes to light that these allegations are true. And you know, I just hope the truth comes to light, and I hope that you know, the people involved get the justice that they deserve, depending on, you know, even if 80% of the allegations are correct, that's bad, you know. But anyway, go ahead, Ambassador.
I've been alive for 46 years, and I didn't really get into knowing anything about sexual stuff until like my late teens, like most of us would. What I just heard about Neil Gaiman and his sexual proclivities is beyond the pale. This isn't kink. This isn't, oh, I'm gonna tie you up and spank you, and you have to call me daddy. This is depraved. Even by other people that might be into BDSM, even they would say that this is depraved and disgusting. And no, I don't know a whole lot about BDSM. I know a little, very little. But I guess people who are maybe a little more into it or might be very much into it would even say that what this guy has done to these women is depraved. That's the best word I can come up with, and it's why I'm using it. You know, this is one of those rare instances where it's going to be exceedingly difficult to separate the art from the artist, because you have to wonder how much of the art was inspired by the person's real life. I mean, I love the Sandman series that was on Netflix. I reviewed it on my channel. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was a very well acted, well written, the whole shebang. You know, I can separate the art from the artist in some cases, like with Josh Whedon and, you know, Buffy the Vampire Slayer and the spinoff Angel. But this guy has done some sick stuff. And I think it's
Allegedly.
going to be allegedly
Sorry.
has done some very, you know, I'll put that there, has allegedly done some very sick and depraved things to women.
We have to.
And it's going to be for every it's going to be a person by person basis how much they can separate the art from the artist here, because this guy has had a long, and I would say relatively illustrious career. He's done a lot of good work, anything in the realms of fantasy writing and comics writing, and now his work being adapted for the big and small screen and so on. But if what has been reported here is true, he's going to be looking at some serious jail time, or at the very least, he's going to be looking at some hefty settlements out of court. Question is, can his bank account handle it?
Probably.
That's well, maybe not. We don't know. We don't know how well off he is. Obviously, he has his own estate and everything. He can afford to have a
Well, he
nanny
can
and so
afford
on.
$300,000, so I'd say he's pretty well
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Well, it
I would
doesn't
agree
matter
with
how
that.
well off you are, though. I mean, look at the fall of Harvey Weinstein. That dude was on top of the
Mm,
world and then went to
mm-hmm,
prison for rape.
mm-hmm.
Sorry, grape.
He went to prison for, or no, don't get me wrong. Harvey Weinstein, or there was some stuff that was actually seriously proven. He went to
Right.
prison for words only and no proof for the most
Mm-hmm.
part.
Yeah.
So
And here
yeah,
you've got.
as much as everybody says Harvey Weinstein is a pervert, there literally was no proof of this shit happening. And most of
The
the
worst
women
part
who
about
accused
sorry.
him, sorry, let me finish. Most of the
Yeah,
women
sorry.
who accused him, all of them on the freaking award studios, my Lord and Savior Harvey Weinstein, sexy Harvey, yada
Mhm.
yada. Not to mention that if you go to a freaking hotel room or you go onto his thing and you go over there and you agree to do the act, if you agree to do the act, I'm not condoning it, but if you agree to do it, that's consensual.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but Kathy Bates was right. Most of this shit was consensual, and he should never have been convicted of it.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. I do need to clarify a lot of that shit. Sorry.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
this
But
is
for the
different
stuff
than
that he
Harvey
was, for the
Weinstein.
stuff that he
Yeah.
did do, for
This
the
is
stuff he
yeah.
did
Right.
do, yes, he's a fucking scum for it.
The
But
I
yeah,
think the worst part of the Harvey Weinstein situation, and I'll bring it back to Neil Gaiman so that the worst thing about the Harvey Weinstein thing is that everybody knew about it and everybody was covering for it. Yeah, he was a creep and but if I remember correctly, he was in prison for like actual grape, not just like, hey, if you do this, I'll put you in my movie, which is sleazy, but
reprehensible.
yes, as you said, it's consensual if somebody is up and coming and going, if I got to do this in order to get famous or get in this movie, I'll do it. It's gross and weird, and but it's consensual. This whole
Mm-hmm.
Neil Gaiman thing, this doesn't sound like that.
No,
It's
that
not,
doesn't
I'll
remotely.
put you in my movie if you do this for me. It, from all of the allegations that have come forward so far, it's like, oh, this guy's nasty and he
Perverted.
just, yeah, he's like a sadist or something because he
Mm-hmm.
enjoys
BDSM.
degrading people, and that's an extra level of messed up that I don't even want
Yeah.
to even think about, you know.
I mean, here's the thing. If a woman, if that is her kink to be degraded and whatnot, and the man agrees to do it for her, if that's what she gets off on, fine. If she agrees to do it and whatnot, fine. But
Consent.
what they are detailing in these articles was not consensual.
Mm-mm.
They found it humiliating.
Yeah, as most
So
women
yeah,
would.
Yeah.
now yes, I do know a woman. Uh, sadly, I'm not proud that I know this woman. She is into the degrading kinks. She's into it. And it's like, well, I'm not gonna get with you. I'm sorry. um, but yeah, she's into that stuff, and it's like, well, good for you. I'm not into it. Folks, I'm a gentleman. Yes, I have my own kinks, but I'm also a gentleman. I'm not gonna degrade a woman. I'm not going to freaking smack them around or whatever because that's what they get off on. I have my own limits.
Mm.
What
Most
this
people
dude is
do.
describing is pure reprehensible, belongs only in your mind, not in real life. As far as I'm concerned, this dude
Yes,
is
Junebug, you
serious.
did.
It is absolutely seriously sick and twisted. And honestly, I really want to move off of it because the stuff is
Okay,
seriously sick and twisted.
let's do so. No
Yeah.
segue. Let's just move. Let's move on.
Let
Let's move on.
Yeah.
justice be done
How
upon
do you,
him.
Junebug? So next one. Disney's getting sued, folks. Again. by a guy named Justin Baldoni, who did a movie with Blake Lively, wife of Ryan Reynolds, aka Deadpool, aka Nicepool, aka this pool, aka that pool, aka fucking hell. Anyway,
Yeah, Deadpool 3 had like all the Deadpools.
And it was glorious. I
Yeah.
won't lie. I loved the
yes,
movie.
it was.
Well, and
Anyway.
then actually, his wife was
Lady Deadpool,
Lady-
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Lady Deadpool. So that
Yeah.
slow walk in where you see all the Deadpools, and that's actually Blake.
And their daughter played Kidpool. And the baby,
Oh, really?
or Baby Pool, was also their kid.
Oh, cool. That's
Aw.
cool. Like, put your kids
Yeah,
in the movie without showing their faces. I did not know that. That's kind of cool.
Matt
Yeah.
McConaughey was Cowboy Pool. Zombie
Yeah.
or Head Pool was Nathan Fillion.
Real quick, totally off topic, but seeing like all the Wolverines was super fun. Anyway,
Yes.
back to the topic.
Yeah, that was. But yes, getting into this, Disney caught in legal crossfire as Justin Baldoni accuses Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool team of mocking him with Nicepool character. Actor demands Disney's internal communications. Now, folks, Disney's already in hot water with the Gina Carano situation. They don't need this right now. I mean, this is going to be the year of humiliation for Disney. I'm hoping that I am still around on YouTube for when September comes around, because holy shit, there's some shit going on, you know? So this is from That Park Place from HT Counter. Yeah. The ongoing legal battle of Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni took a strange turn this week as Baldoni's lawyer got Disney and Marvel involved in the drama-filled mess. He's trying to draw parallels between Baldoni and the character of Nicepool, played in Deadpool and Wolverine by Lively's husband Ryan Reynolds, and he's demanding in Disney's internal communications to prove missed it. Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool is about the only thing Marvel has going for it these days. I don't know, Moana 2 broke $1 billion. But
Yeah.
in terms of ventures that aren't a black hole monkey sink, what the fuck? Part and parcel with Deadpool, of course, is Canadian actor Ryan Reynolds. Now, Deadpool and Wolverine was a wild box office success, featuring Hugh Jackman, yada yada, and a host of other celebrities, some more overt than others, it seems. One of them, which flew by the radar, was the character of Lady Pool, Lady Revealed, Blake Lively. And then there was Nicepool, a handsome, man-bunned, self-identified feminist with an ear-huggy and solicited opinions on healing inner trauma. This character is, according to Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Justin Baldoni, although actually played by Reynolds. Currently, Blake Lively and Baldoni are engaged in a legal battle over claims that he sexually harassed her during the production of their film, It Ends With Us. And the proceedings have gotten quite messy, with multiple lawsuits and countersuits being thrown about. Lively and Justin Baldoni and the film. Oh, okay, so that's the guy. I always wondered what he looked like. Where it takes a turn for the bizarre are recent claims that Baldoni's lawyer claims that the Nicepool character is in fact based on Baldoni himself. How did he arrive at this conclusion? Well, in his own words, while talking to Megyn Kelly, what I make of it is, if your wife is sexually harassed, you don't make fun of Justin Baldoni. There's no question it relates to Justin. I mean, anybody that saw that hair bun, or saw that hair bun. The man bun has it, apparently. However, surely there are still many man bun men out there, right? For example, Harold, character played by Justin Theroux in the new Beetlejuice 2 movie, is almost identical in terms of personality and mannerisms of Nicepool. I don't remember a character like that. And also has a man bun. Was also based on Baldoni. But Freeman and Baldoni are so sure of this, they're using it as part of the legal case against Lively and Reynolds. Okay, so that dude's ugly. Anyway, on January 7th, they issued a litigation to hold letter to Marvel boss Kevin Feige and Disney CEO Bob Iger, letter connected to potential legal action Ryan Reynolds. Specifically, the letter requests that Disney and Marvel safeguard materials concerning the creation of the Nicepool character, including all communications tied to the character development, writing, and filming. It also demands preservation of records that could suggest any intent to use the character to mock, harass, or intimidate Baldoni. Of course, there's no telling what this peek into Disney and Marvel's internal communications might reveal. Should it come to discovery, it's possible it could create new problems for Disney and Marvel outside the lively Reynolds-Baldoni feud. Also outside of the Gina Carano and Disney feud. Anyway, Baldoni, who is an ardent crusader against toxic masculinity, may not fully appreciate just how many other men there are out there in the world like Nicepool. The character was hilarious. Everyone in the audience knows exactly, or knows someone exactly like him. I don't. It should be noted that in the movie, he drives a Honda Odyssey minivan by the name of Betsy with Avril Lavigne on the dial. Make of that what you will. Though that begs the question, if Nicepool was actually inspired by Baldoni, then was using the character as a human shield for more bullets, arrows, blow darts, etc. that can be counted, particularly shot at by Ladypool, and having his head ultimately blown off show how Reynolds really feels about the actor-director? Oh, shit. Yeah. Whatever the case may be, it certainly makes for some interesting legal drama. Do you think Nicepool is based on Justin Baldoni's? Sound off on the comments below. Now, for me, folks, I'm just going to say, to give you guys some also further context, apparently this Baldoni dude went into her trailer during time of production of the movie, while the movie was being made, while she was breastfeeding her child, and well, she thought it was kind of creepy, and it's like told him to get out and whatnot and it's like, here's the thing, his director, his producer, this, or if it's time sensitive shit, he can say, I'm coming in, we need to talk, this is time sensitive, I will look away so you are comfortable. It's that simple. There's no sexual harassment there. Unless the dude's saying something like, I mean, you got any milk for me, honey? I mean, that, yes, that would be sexual harassment.
Right.
But we don't honestly know what's going on. But this dude's, honestly, this guy self-identifies as a feminist. I mean, if Nicepool is indeed Justin Baldoni, there needs to be less people out there like Nicepool and Justin Baldoni. I'm just kind of wondering where this is going to go. I mean, if it does turn out that this is the case, holy shit, man. We'll go with the panel's thoughts now. Kate, what are your thoughts on this?
Sorry, I had to unmute. So this whole Blake Lively Baldoni thing keeps getting funnier and funnier to me, because when the movie press was coming out, everybody was like shitting on Blake for the way that she was acting during the press tour. And then all of these lawsuits come out and it's like, oh wait, maybe she was just like, fuck it, I don't care, and that was just her way of like sticking it to the man, just like being weird and trying to not talk about the movie that much, talk about her hairline. 'Cause she had this weird line where she's like, bring your friends and your florals and like come and see the movie. And the movie is about abuse in a relationship. So this is like super layered. I do, if the allegations against Baldoni are correct, it is hilarious and kind of, I don't know, like I would totally do this if I were somebody's husband or spouse. Like, oh, that guy messed with you, all right, let's make fun of him in our movie. You know that's fine to me. But um what's the most hilarious is why would you admit to being the like character that's shit on? You know what I mean? Like if somebody made like a Cersei Lannister type character and it was like obviously based off of me, I wouldn't shout it on the rooftops like, "This is me. I want to know like your behind the scenes stuff and like what you guys were talking about at Disney to make sure it's not about me." It just seems like very childish. Now as far as like the him coming into her trailer while she's breastfeeding, this might be because I grew up in Europe for a bit and it was totally normal to like be on a train and see a woman feeding her baby. Um, Newsflash: boobs are not a sex organ. They are made to feed your children. So I don't have a problem with like a mother, feeding her baby in public. That's not. There's nothing sexual about that. There are ways to go around it though. If people find that uncomfortable, there are like those little blankets that you can put over a baby's head, so you're kind of covering yourself and you have a little bit more modesty. But yeah, I agree with Orange in that particular scenario. Like he's the producer and the director, and he needs to talk to her. Like there's a way to do that without it being weird. If he had made a comment, like Orange said, that would be harassment. Uh, just because I've been so many new like back and forth and revelations and stuff, I'm hesitant to side one way or another, either with Baldoni or with Blake Lively. I just think the whole thing is kind of hilarious. So obviously, if Nicepool was based off of Baldoni, that's freaking hilarious to me. Because that means Blake Lively went home to her husband and was like, "Hey, this weird dude's acting weird at work." And then he's like, "Let's make fun of him in our movie." So I don't know. That tickles my fancy. It's just kind of funny to me. But um I guess we'll just have to wait and see what the revelation of everything is. But it kind of seems like, from what we know, that Baldoni was being maybe a creep toward Blake, and Blake, you know, and her husband decided to make fun of him in a movie. Is that wrong? Is that illegal? I don't know. Uh, I don't think so, but I don't know the law in California or wherever they, shot it. I do
Wherever
think
this
it's
takes
funny
place,
that
yeah.
yeah, I do think it's funny though that Disney's catching the heat for it now because they don't need this. And if Discovery comes out for this particular incident, and then if they have Discovery for this, and then other stuff comes out, like you were mentioning Gina Carano, I don't think that would be good for Disney. But screw Disney, you get what you deserve. But I don't know. I don't think that somebody should be penalized for making fun of somebody else who made them feel uncomfortable in their movie. I don't know. That's just me.
I mean, or the thing is, if it's maliciously done, then yes, I could see, or sure.
Sure.
However, a movie is satire, and
Right.
there is no implied context even in the film. Now, also, by the way, I'm gonna or to give legal advice here. I'm not a lawyer, so don't take my word for it. I believe just buy the fucking movie, watch a bunch of the fucking uh, special features, and listen to the commentary. I'm sure there might be something in there that you might be able to use or not use. But the point is, I agree with Kate. The shit should not. It's like, so what exactly is the goal here?
Yeah.
To prove that you were some kind of nice guy, but treated like shit because, well, the woman hates you and so does the husband? What's the point?
Yeah.
Ambassador.
What are you trying to prove, Ambassador? Yeah. What do you got?
I find this monument. I'm by no means any type of legal expert, but the fact that a lawyer is requesting the internal communiques from the production of Deadpool and Wolverine to prove that a fictitious character was based on a real life character. Excuse me, has anybody ever watched the credits to a movie and at the very end it says any characters in this movie that might be claimed to be based on a real life person are completely coincidental and not intended to be representative of said person or any persons whatsoever? Disney has covered their ass in every movie ever made ever since they started putting credits on movies where they have that disclaimer at the end of the film has covered their ass saying, no, this character is not based on someone else in real life. Apparently, this lawyer has not done his research that particularly well. And the fact that this guy this Justin Baldoni guy has a beef with Blake Lively and potentially her husband because they did a character that he thinks was based on him. Dude, you're not that important for anybody to make a character based on you whatsoever. Until this case, I didn't even know who the hell you were. And the fact that you have a man bun opens you up to public mockery as it is. You have a man bun and you're an espoused feminist.
Used to have a man bun. I think his hair short now. Yes.
You are 2 estrogen injections away from being a chick. I'm speaking hyperbolically, obviously. But dude, grow a pair or find them or shave your man bush and locate him or something.
He can't. He's a male feminist.
Dude.
Yeah, it's okay. He identifies as a feminist.
grow a spine, locate your balls, and get over yourself. Yeah. You're not that important.
Nobody knows who you are.
No one cares. Even if they knew who you are, nobody's going to care. As Peter Griffin said in an episode of The Family Guy, oh my gosh, who the hell cares?
Yeah.
And I'll go even one further. I will edit myself here to quote the episode of South Park where they're making fun of the bikers, and Cartman calls all those bikers the gay defamatory slur. Dude, you're that.
Yeah.
You are the British term for a cigarette.
Okay, enough with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
anyway,
we get the point.
Yeah. Anyway, this is beyond moronic and is bordering on comedy at this point. He's suing, or the lawyer is wanting the records from the production of Deadpool and Wolverine. Go back to law school, dude.
Smells like desperation.
It doesn't sound like desperation. It is desperation. Dude, you need to go back to law school, or otherwise you just didn't do that well in law school in the first damn place. So that's my 2 cents on the whole situation with Mr. Baldoni and Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Frankly, I don't think this guy has got a leg to stand on with this case.
That's on the whole
but that's just me.
With Mr. Baldoni.
But that's my 2 cents. So.
Sorry about that, folks. Just
That's
sharing
okay.
some stuff on my alternate account.
I was like, am I hearing an echo? What's happening?
No, I could tell it was record or it was on a different thing. So anyway.
Yeah, it was. Or I'm also live on X, so I'm reposting it on there too. And apparently one of my watchers is also reposting it. Thank you, Darth Scion. Cool.
Hey, Darth Scion.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to Darth.
But right. Yeah. So moving on to our next one, because these people are just so freaking nuts. The next one, Greta Gerwig is pulling an Amazon, folks. This woman thinks that she knows better than C.S. Lewis.
Oh boy.
She is going to give her own take on the Chronicles of Narnia.
Oh Lord.
I'm telling you right now, Greta, your Barbie movie may have made $1 billion, but that's only because you suckered people with nostalgia. Your woke garbage movie should never have even made 500 million. Your movie should have been a flop. But unfortunately, there are people who no longer care about punishing the woke movies. Unfortunately, people will continue to watch this shit
Let's see.
despite the clear and obvious wokeness that is in these movies.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Don't you love getting preached at by America Ferrera? You didn't like that?
yeah, I didn't watch the movie, so I didn't.
I did, and
I
I will tell you,
I go
I don't
for
like getting preached at.
I went for the second half of that, or the first half of for Barbenheimer. I watched Oppenheimer, which is quality film. It's good.
a great
It's
film.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah,
Very great.
Barbenheimer.
Anyway,
I think Oppenheimer won that, but I saw it when it came out on streaming, just out of curiosity. And Margot Robbie was a really good Barbie, but the take of the film, Greta, stop, just Greta. Anyway, I'll let you get to the article. Sorry.
So let's get to this article. So Netflix is cool with commercials now, but still not theaters. Well, unless it's one of the two exhibition houses it owns, the Egyptian in Hollywood and the Paris in New York. But sometimes you just have to give Greta Gerwig her way. No, you don't. Around Christmas 2024, IMAX and Netflix struck a deal to distribute Greta Gerwig's upcoming The Chronicles of Narnia film adaptation exclusively on at least 1,000 and as many as 1,800, depending on China, IMAX screens worldwide. 1 month ahead of the movie's streaming premiere, after 2 to 3 weeks on IMAX screens, depending on IMAX's desire to extend the run, Netflix has the optionality to place Narnia in regular theaters. Either way, Narnia debuts on Netflix on Christmas Day 2026. Thank God they don't have it now. The agreement was many months of negotiations in the making. A person with knowledge of the deal told IndieWire, Gerwig has had her sights on wanting an IMAX, not just theatrical release for Narnia. 3 or 4 months ago. Here's what I would do, folks. I would do test screens. And I would put the most brutally honest fans of C.S. Lewis in those theaters.
Me, pick me.
Pick my wife.
They spent 2 weeks hammering out a plan, exclusive window, length of engagement, and generally how to approach Netflix. At a time, Gerwig's agent and lawyer got involved. Together, they narrowed the issues with Netflix folk. How dare you use the word that I use? The Netflix folk took it to the CEO Ted Sarandos, I don't fucking know, and the chief content officer Bila Bayari something. Anyway, IMAX is able to tell its exhibitors what to program. Narnia wouldn't have been would have been in no theaters if it didn't get IMAX exclusivity. I hate IMAX, by the way, folks. I really do. I am not going to the theaters, so I have to do this when I'm watching the theaters. No. I would rather just fucking look at a screen in front of me. That's what I want to do at the theaters. I am not going to a theater that I have to fucking turn my head just to look at shit. Not happening. I hate IMAX. Fuck IMAX.
I love IMAX. You just have to get the right seat.
See, that's the problem though. If you're not like in the perfect seat, it's shit.
Yeah, you have to
Yes
be
and
in the
no.
direct middle of the fucking theater.
Yes and no.
Anyway, IMAX is able to tell its exhibitor yada yada. A far larger one as Netflix history. It was fairly complicated. Let's see here. Basically, folks, they're just going over this shit, but she wants to put her own take on it. That was something that I did see in this, and she actually wants to put her own take.
I heard about this about
and a new
months ago,
take
but go ahead.
on this, and I'm like, no, absolutely fucking not.
There's no new take.
Amazon, there is no new take. You're right. It's the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. The shit takes place during the London Blitz in, I believe, World War One, or was it World War Two? Yeah, World War Two, the London Blitz. So yeah, that shit better be there, and it better not be about we're in a man's world.
It's Christian allegory, and you can't put your own twist on it. You can't take your own take on Lion Jesus. The one of the things that I heard from one of the producers, I'm not sure if it was Greta herself or one of the producers, and they're like, "We want to make it rock and roll." Excuse me, what?
That was her.
That was her.
That was
what?
her.
How
Yeah.
Narnia?
I'm sorry.
Rock and roll.
I don't know.
Right then and there, I would have said, get out of my studio. If I was the boss and I heard, so you have an idea for Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? Okay, let's see it. We're going to do rock and roll with it. Get the fuck out. Get out.
Yeah. Get out. Yeah, get out of my office. Shame.
Get the fuck out of my office. You're fired.
Yeah.
No, you're not fired. You're not even hired. So I'm not even going to fire. Actually,
You're
no,
right.
you're hired and you're fired. Get the fuck out. Security, get this bitch out of my fucking office. Get this bitch out of my fucking building. Get this bitch out of my fucking property.
Rock and roll, Narnia. What the fuck?
Folks, there are some things you just don't do. You don't fuck with Tolkien's work. You don't fuck with C.S. Lewis's work. And you just don't fuck with their fans.
Yeah.
You also don't screw with Frank Herbert's work either.
Yes.
You also don't fuck with Frank Herbert's work. I've never read
It's nothing sacred.
So I don't know. But the thing is, folks,
dude, you need to.
Hold on a moment. When it comes to things like, I don't know, Star Trek, you got hundreds of millions, maybe a couple 100 million fans for Star Trek. For Terminator, you got like tens of millions, maybe couple 100 million there too. When you got Tolkien, when you got Narnia, your deal. How many people are in the world right now? Like 8 billion, 9 billion?
8 billion.
Okay, so 1.38 of the world population are fans of Tolkien.
Yeah.
1.3 billion people are fans of Tolkien. 1.1 billion are fans of Star Wars. 1.2 billion are fans of Narnia.
Yep.
C.S. Lewis. Yep.
From C.S. Lewis. You are fucking with an eighth of the human population, and that, or if all of them had social media, I guarantee you 1 billion of them, minus maybe a couple 100 million who actually would give this a chance, would tell you no. You just don't do this. Tolkien, one, greatest author of the 20th century. C.S. Lewis, second greatest author of the 20th century.
And they were friends.
I have no fucking clue. But that's just me. According to him,
Tolkien and Lewis were friends, and yeah, they wrote some of the greatest.
Yeah,
dude,
good stuff.
you need to either do the audiobook or you need to watch the Denis Villeneuve adaptation because it is probably the best big screen.
I just finished the audiobook and it's really good, and the movies are doing pretty good as far as like
very nice.
I watched the first one. and I heard the second one was weird and not good. I own them.
Whoever
on
told
my
you that
digital
was a
library.
liar. Whoever told you that was a liar.
O&B reviews, and I usually trust
He
him with
lied.
a lot of the stuff.
He's an idiot. He doesn't know
Let's go
good
back
taste
to
and came
Narnia,
up
though.
and bam
Let's
his
get back to
ass.
Narnia.
Let's get back to Narnia because I'm
Fair
going to
enough.
tell you right now, Ambassador, do not insult O&B on this channel.
I
do
did.
respect the man. Well,
enough.
then do not do it again, please. That's what I'm going to say. We do not go after people like that on this channel. Unless they are universally hated by a lot of other people. And unless they are freaking actors. If they're actors, fucking have at them. No personal drama on this fucking channel.
Actors are fair game. I love that.
Oh, I don't have any
Actors
drama
and
with him.
shit,
I
yes,
just...
they're public figures and shit, yeah. I mean,
That's
yes,
true.
OMB
That's
is
true.
public
If they're
figures,
out
but-
in the
Let's
open.
get back to Narnia.
But yeah, getting back to Narnia, you just don't fucking do it. You just don't fucking do this shit, man.
Yeah.
Leave Narnia to the people who care about it.
The Narnians. Yes.
Yeah, the Narnians, exactly. You leave it to the fucking Narnians. I mean, as Aslan said in the other movie, or in the good movie, don't cite the deep match to me, which I was there when it was written.
Yep.
Folks,
Yeah.
you're dealing with people who know these books inside, outside, and loosey-goosey flipping through chapters. None
My
of
wife is
them,
one of them. Mm-hmm.
none
Pat-
of them
see.
are going to accept a rock and roll version of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
And what does that even mean?
Don't.
Rock and roll version. What does that mean? Like Lucy Pevensey is going to come out with like an air guitar? Like what? What does that mean?
No,
Rock
Lucy
and
Pevensey's
roll.
trying to
gonna be
be-
like, why are you treating me like this? I'm a girl. This is not a man's world. Fuck you, Lucy.
It means that she's trying to be edgy and deep when Greta Gerwig is anything but edgy or deep. She's about as shallow as a spit puddle on a sidewalk.
She couldn't even get Little Women right. What do you mean? Why do you think we would trust her with? Who trusted her with Narnia?
The idiots at Netflix.
Yeah,
That's all I gotta say, and that's the perfect response.
that is the perfect response. Yeah, because as
The
soon as I
idiots-
heard Netflix was doing Narnia, I was like, oh, this is gonna be shit. Like Netflix is doing it. Oh, it's gonna be shit.
The only studio that has any business doing, and I say this very, very broadly, the only studio who has ever done Narnia any type of service was the BBC and marginally Walden Media.
Yeah, the first two were good. The first Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the 2005. Not the first. Sorry, BBC did it first, but the 2005 Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, very good, very very good. They cast Lucy well. They cast all the kids well. They respected the lore. Freaking Liam Neeson as Aslan. Come on, that was great.
Well, and James
Great
McAvoy as Mr.
Tumnus.
James McAvoy, and then of course you had that was James McAvoy. Young James McAvoy, but and the actress I can't Tilda Swinton.
Oh, Tilda,
as the White Witch. Yeah, she was great.
Yeah.
And I really even enjoy Prince Caspian. They changed a few things, but even the casting was good on that one too. They did a really good job with that one as well. The issue with making the Narnia series is the ages of the kids, because usually when they do the movies, they do it in the order that they were written and then published. So Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, Voyage of the Dawn Treader. I think did the BBC do Horse and His Boy?
No, but they did do the Silver Chair.
They did do the Silver Chair. Okay.
Yeah, because we actually have the BBC version on DVD.
The BBC versions are really. I remember watching those and really liking them. I was introduced to Narnia when I lived in London as like a 3-year-old, and this lady that we like shared a house with, she was like, "Hey, you've never heard of Narnia. Here's these books. I still have the books on my shelf from the 1960s, like the old original. And
Nice.
I have loved these books since that time. And I watched the BBC movies when I was a kid. When the 2005 movie came out, I made my mom take me to that, and I loved it. And they did a great job. The issue with continuing the series is you're introduced to like Eustace Scrubb in the Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and then he comes
which
back
is for the next book.
for the
which
last
I think-
battle, and in the Silver Chair. So usually, like the reason why we haven't had a complete Narnia series is just figuring out logistics of the ages of the kids. Because if you,
well, here's the other thing too, because after the third book, all the Pevensey kids, or not Pevensey, all the kids grow up and they're no longer the main characters. So it's a matter of getting the audience to stay connected with the story that you're telling. But here's the thing. If a literary audience can stay connected with a series of books, what's to say that a movie audience wouldn't do the same thing?
Right.
Exactly.
Just saying.
But you just have to stay true to, even if they did it in chronological order, let's say they wanted to do The Magician's Nephew first to kind of introduce like where the wardrobe came from, and like how did Aslan create Narnia, and who's the first king and queen of Narnia, and why was that important, and why was the White Witch important, because she's introduced into Narnia in the Magician's Nephew, but she's held away by this, anyway, getting too far into it. But when I think about like producing a movie series or a TV show series or whatever, rock and roll and Greta Gerwig's vision doesn't come in at all. It doesn't come into play. Whatever her rock and roll vision is, it's not going to work because you're not staying true to what the story is. And we've seen this countless times. Rings of Power. They're just like, we're going to make it what we want. Oh, we're just going to make, like, you can't make it what you want. C.S. Lewis and Tolkien, respectively, put their ideology and faith and things into it that you just can't take out and make it your own. Like, they have very distinct things. And just like, Doctor Who is kind of like a very British thing, Narnia, whether or not you adhere to faith or not, is very like quintessentially British. It's part of British culture. You can't separate the two, and you can't separate, the Christian ideology that's put into Narnia, because it's a direct, like, Aslan is Lion Jesus. Like, let's just be real. So, Greta, you're gonna fuck it up, and you're gonna piss off a whole fan base the fan base is as deep as the Tolkien fan base.
Pretty much Christian. Yeah.
You're gonna piss off the wrong people. You're gonna piss off the wrong fans, and just don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't do it.
Yes.
Don't do it, Greta.
No. Well, too late. She's already working on it. So.
Yep, she already did it. Essentially, she's already doing it, and honestly,
I want to see who they cast as the Pevensey kids, because like if they just try to do some weird shit like DEI with the Pevenseys,
I'm
gonna flip tables.
You're gonna flip tables like
DEI.
Christ. You're gonna flip tables like Christ.
I'm gonna be flipping tables.
You're gonna be flipping tables like Christ did.
You know what I'm gonna do like Christ did? I'm gonna walk up to Netflix and I'm gonna curse them. May you never make another product again in place of the fig tree.
Don't ruin this. Yeah, right. Yeah, curse the fig tree. May you be cursed.
On Netflix,
anyway.
It's like, may you never make another fucking show again that succeeds. Anyway, folks, the previous 3 Narnia films are better anyway. Yep.
Yes.
The problem is, the problem with Narnia and Lord of the Rings and when you are adapting these to film, they're going to have to be big budget because you're going to have to rely on a lot of digital shit.
Yeah.
I mean, to give you an idea, for the first movie, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the 2005 one, they had this guy dressed in a freaking green frog-like suit to play the dog or the wolf that jumps at Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
they got real wolves too.
Yeah, no, they also brought in real wolves, but also, if you watch the blooper reel, it's like, you may be a king, but you're gonna die by a frog, and it shows the guy jump at it. It's funny shit. I mean,
I'll have to check that
I
out.
actually had they have extended editions if you have physical media to Caspian, Dawn Treader, and Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe.
I own all of the DVDs of those and the Blu-ray combo.
Do you have
disc.
the
was not
extended
aware.
edition to the first
I
one?
do have the extended edition, and Ambassador mentioned the BBC versions. Those are the ones I grew up
Yeah.
on, like when I was
Same
younger.
here. Same
Those
here.
are
Speaking of
great
those-
ones too.
Speaking of those, the BBC version, does that have the people dressed up in animal suits?
So the
No,
way that
not
they
exactly.
did it is they split screen. So like, let's say they have the centaur rolling up, they would have a man running through the field, and then he was wearing like green pants, and then they would film in the exact same location a horse running, and then split screen it and put his body, his torso,
Yeah.
where
No.
the horse.
Well,
It was
my
like
question
early
is-
CGI or green
It
screening.
was super early
Alright.
CGI. Aslan
For
was
the-
a freaking
no, I'm like-
puppet. Like
Yeah,
for the
Aslan was
wolf, or like the wolf
animatronic.
versus Peter. Was that a guy in a wolf outfit?
I'd have to go back and
It,
watch
it's
it.
been so long
It's been
since
a
I've seen it. I'd have to go back and watch
Because
it. I'm not
if
sure.
that is the one that if that is the one that BBC did, I saw that in school, and the freaking music was terrifying as well. I mean, that scene kind of stuck with me because it was kind of scary because of the
Mhm.
music and all that stuff. And it's like, this is kind of creepy. I'm in the
Yeah,
middle of like
Plumber's
second
getting
grade
drunk and
watching
stuff
this
and
shit.
stuff. Yeah.
Well, they
And
wanted
I'm
to
like, yeah.
The thing you have to remember about the 80s, they were not worried about traumatizing kids because kids back then were tougher,
Oh, hell no.
or the parents were more
Well, here's
involved
the-
in the kids. The
Well,
parents
this
were
was the
more involved in
90s
the
when I
kids'
was
lives.
watching it. Yeah, this was the 90s when I was watching it. But
Yeah,
here's
that
the thing,
too.
folks. I had seen movies already. I had seen movies like by the time that I saw that movie in theaters, I was 5 when I saw Fright Night and Silver Bullet.
Mm.
So yeah.
Okay, so you were exposed
And
to
that-
the thing before the things.
I was
Yeah.
exposed to horror before watching that, but that still kind of creeped me out because it was this guy in a freaking animal wolf suit going, ah! And I'm like, it's kind of creepy.
But to talk about movies that traumatize even adults, are we ready to move
should
on
move
to
into
the
our
to the movie discussion of the
Yeah.
week?
We're gonna move on to the film discussion, folks. Not Carrie Underwood, not Google. Excalibur. Yes,
No,
Excalibur.
Excalibur.
Yes, we're gonna. Oops.
Darkness was there and nothing more.
Yes, there was darkness in the land of Mordor where shadows lie.
Okay, where are we? There we are.
There we are. Yeah. Sorry, folks.
Where
I
are-
had to switch the background.
That's okay.
I thought I almost did. Yeah, I thought I almost did a clip for a second. It's like, did I accidentally clip a clip? Whoops.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't, thankfully.
Yeah.
So,
Excalibur, 1981. Folks, this was the first time I saw this movie. Gotta say, good movie. And thank you to Kate and Ambassador for pointing out that the guy who plays Merlin in this movie is the same guy from Spawn who played Cagliostro. And I'm like, now I
Well, it's the-
fucking know why I thought that guy was familiar.
well, it's the voice. That guy has a very, very iconic voice.
Yeah.
Behold Excalibur, the sword
And
of
distinct.
power.
Yeah, he's a distinct voice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
I
distinctive.
also like when he's talking to. I also like when he's talking to Arthur, when Arthur's just running away in the woods, and then he's talking to him. He's like, "It's this, it's that," and then its tongue is forked, like, and then lightning just strikes. Well, yeah, like that, like lightning. I mean, he has a bunch of those parts where he sees, or Arthur sees Guinevere. The brother shall betray you, and he's like, "Oh Jesus, you're just too freaking smitten on her to even care." I
No,
mean,
the fact was Merlin didn't say it loud enough so that Arthur would hear him.
yeah,
Part of this whole situation is Merlin's fault if you think about it. If he had just said, "Hey, dude, pay attention to me for 2 seconds. I'll actually speak where you can hear me." You pick Lancelot. Him and your wife are going to cheat on you, and it's going to ruin everything. So here's an idea. Don't do it. Part of the whole situation is Merlin's freaking fault, and I love Merlin to death.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
So yeah, this movie, folks, is by no stretch of the imagination. This is pure early '80s graphic. I mean, limbs being sliced off.
Yes.
Boobs and
Yes.
full body nudity. '80s.
Yes.
Yes. But the thing that totally is
kind of like Conan the Barbarian-esque with the violence and the gore and the everything. Yeah.
But the thing that made me like, holy fuck, that thing just happened, was when Helen Mirren was pregnant for Mordred, and she just reaches between her legs and rips that baby upward. I'm like, what the fuck did I just do?
It looks like a medieval version of the Black Mass, for Pete's sake. There's dudes in weird robes and helmets, and she's dressed all in black.
Shit. But she just
no, I think you mean unholy crap. I think you mean unholy crap.
Yeah,
not holy crap, unholy
shit.
crap.
It's like holy, or it's like unholy shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is about as unholy as you can get.
She reaches. It shows her reaching down and pulling that baby upward. And I'm like,
Morgana was kind of a freak in this version.
Yeah,
but
and I like that beautiful Helen Mirren
portrayal.
Yeah, Helen Mirren,
40 years younger.
And she was great in this role.
Yes.
Oh, yes, she was. But
and I have to admit,
interesting.
Go ahead.
But I caught myself checking the time a lot.
It's long.
It's 2 hours, 20 minutes, and it's like, why is it that like 5 different movies are being put into one movie, and it feels like I should have to watch like 5 other movies just to watch this movie? And come on, let's get this movie ended.
Some of the like the battle sequences or the duels, you're like, oh my god, can we get through this? Like, so I'm with you there. I love this movie. I'm not trashing on it. I love this movie, but there are certain times where you're like,
yeah,
it's like,
okay,
come on now,
what
the fuck? Let's get this shit going.
The pacing,
well, you know, here's
pacing
the thing.
Was a problem.
Yeah, I will agree with both of you. Yes, because as much as I love this movie, I was originally introduced to this movie in high school. We watched it for my AP European history class, and we actually had to get written because of everything that was in this movie. Now, of course, Mother and Bad. Yeah, go ahead. You're old enough. I was in my my mid-teens or so. I was a sophomore. So go ahead.
8th grade. You were what? Or 10th grade? Yeah, you were like 16 or something.
Sophomore. Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it was totally fun. But yeah, that was my first exposure to this movie, and you know, since then I have done a lot of digging into Arthurian mythos, and I've watched a lot of videos on the Arthurian legend and so on. It's different iterations. King Arthur ain't got jack on this. Yeah. Clive Owen as Arthur ain't got jack on this.
Shakespearean like telling of the Arthurian legends.
Yeah, it is.
This was hardcore. This was
very much Shakespearean almost.
Well, yeah, especially when you got Nicole Williams as Merlin. You got to. But can we just talk about the cast?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, you've got a young Liam Neeson, you've got a young Gabriel Byrne, you've got a young Patrick Stewart. Because even back then, he didn't look quite so young, but he was young at the time when he was in this movie. I mean, this was an early who's who of great British actors that we would later go on to go, oh my gosh, I remember you
George,
from Excalibur.
or not George, but Kieran Hines was also in this.
Yeah.
I can't remember the character. I think he said King
Super
Lot.
great
or whatever.
cast. Like there's just you're like, oh hey, it's him. Oh hey, it's him. Oh hey, it's him. Basically, like every turn, you know.
Yeah, totally.
And as a child, when I watched this way too young, I didn't appreciate the cast, and then rewatching it as an adult, I'm like, oh my gosh, no wonder why I love this film. It's just a great cast. I don't know. This is one of like the classics for me. I like this film a lot.
Well, this is an
you
80s
guys
classic
seen
in
the-
a lot of ways. Go ahead.
Have you guys seen the Sam Neill Merlin movie?
Yes, and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
I got a lot of the vibes from, well, obviously it's Arthurian legend being told in the same way or in the same vein with the rise or the fall of Uther, the rise of Merlin and Arthur, and then the fall of Arthur and or in Mordred and whatnot. But it was told, or that Merlin story was told more from the Merlin perspective. But this movie, this movie, Excalibur, was fucking brutal. I mean, Morgana tricks Merlin
Arthur
and steals his power, sucks up some of his magic, or sucks up a lot of his magic to stay young and shit while she's raising Mordred and whatnot. And I gotta say, in the movie, it is very much apparent that she actually grapes her brother in order to sire, or in order to get him to sire Mordred. And she then, just to add insult to injury, she's like, or she says, "Thank you, brother," and then just runs down there, and it's like, yes. And so then, then comes up the freaking ripping out of the cooch thing. Like, God, it's not as graphic as, it's graphic enough to show that she reached between her legs and pulled it up. Obviously, there's no umbilical cord, thank God. But holy crap, that was graphic enough.
The force that she pulled that baby out, it probably ripped the umbilical cord off his navel.
Yeah. And the thing
Just saying.
is...
Which, ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor baby.
Supposed to dry out first. Like, come on.
No wonder Mordred was so angry all the time. His mother literally caused the first form of trauma he ever had in his life when she ripped his umbilical cord off of him.
Yeah.
But the brutal bit was the ending with what Merlin does to Morgana.
Oh, yeah.
He comes back as a dream. He comes back as as a manifested dream made real in the real world. Kind of like Freddy Krueger of a sort.
A dream to some, a nightmare to others.
Yeah. And then he just disappears. He goes over to her and he's like, "Oh, you almost ran out of the magic that you stole from me. Okay, start casting spells." Making her cast spells in her sleep to the point where she drains all of her magic and becomes an old crone. And when Mordred goes in, she's like, "Mordred, my dear," he just kills her. He fucking chokes her, beats her, and all sorts of shit. And I'm like, damn, holy shit.
And you have to admit, this movie gave birth to one of the greatest lines of gibberish ever done. The charm of making.
Yeah. And also the music for I can't recite it, so I can't say really much on it. But the music of this movie, everybody knows it. Couldn't remember where it's from, but then I watched this movie and I'm like, oh, they're playing that music. Wait, this is probably the original time that it's actually been played. Cool.
Yes.
Because it's had medieval festival commercials on TV. They've had this music. and all sorts of other things where pirates are dancing, smacking
Everywhere.
swords and bumping butts and all sorts of other shit in the commercials, folks. Not sex shit or anything like that, but yeah, they smack or sword, turn around and hit each other from behind, and that's it. And then they turn around again and whatnot. But yeah, that's what they did in the commercials with the music for a Renaissance festival or some shit. But this movie, I'm like, huh. But yeah, Gabriel Byrne, plays Uther. He's like, I just want to kill men and yada yada. But then he finally sees Arthur and he's like, oh, but I love this kid. I'm going to teach this kid. Merlin's like, motherfucker, I slept for 9 months to cast a goddamn spell. That kid's mine. Fuck you.
Well, no. Well, here's you're kind of dumbing it down because Merlin's
Obviously, I'm dumbing it down. Yeah.
Because Merlin is like, you made me cast a spell.
Yeah.
You betrayed Cornwall. You slept with his wife. No one trusts you now, and you're not going to have hearth and home, a nice, happy family. Because you've screwed everybody over because you couldn't keep it in your freaking pants.
Yeah. Yep.
Now I will I will say this. However, what Cornwall did, having his wife and dancing for all the men, you've got a whole freaking harem up there, dude. You can have somebody other than your wife come down there and dance provocatively for all the guys, because he is almost baiting Uther. Now, am I saying what Uther did was right? No. But Cornwall was being a prick. He's like, you may be king, but you'll never have a hotter wife than my Igraine. And I'm like, dude, you're being a dick. Y'all just made a peace deal and you're riling everybody up. What the hell do you think is going to happen when you've got your wife who's barely covered dancing provocatively like she is? Not to mention,
and then Uther's like, I must have her. I must have her.
Yeah.
I must.
No, dude, you don't need to have her. You can go find some bar wench and have your way with her, for crying out loud, or go marry go find another lord in your kingdom and say, hey, I want to marry your daughter. You don't have to have her. You ass. So who's the bigger ass, Uther or Cornwall? I would say they're both equally asses in this movie.
They're both equally at fault, no doubt, because Cornwall boasted his wife. He boasted his wife. And it's like, dude, look, I get you got a hot wife, but you do not boast that shit out there. You do not have her dance provocatively for everyone. Not unless you're saying, you know what, my king, what's that word? Prima nocta? Yeah. Okay. First night.
Yeah, but they've been married for a while.
Many nights, but here you go. The point is, Morgan Le Fay, actually, Morgan Le Fay, same fucking person. Anyway,
yes,
she can see through the spell because, well, she is magic. In the Merlin movie, it's because she has a lazy eye. But freaking Merlin it's like, okay, you want her, you get to go, or you'll look like the husband. And, well, how about crazy thing in the medieval days, folks? Well, the kids slept in the same room as the parents, even when the parents were, getting frisky.
Doing the deed.
Yeah.
Barf.
And, yeah. And I'm like, there are just some things that even shouldn't be put on film. I mean, even if it's part of the whole story. But it's like, gee, you know? How you doing? Leslie Tarkin. Awesome to see you. Cornwall didn't respect his wife, neither did Uther. That is true. I only watched a live-action movie. This is my first time I heard of the 1979 movie, Leslie. Oh, she's talking about the Narnia movies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this movie had some great fight scenes. I will give him that. Terrible choreography because it's like smacking with swords and shit. I mean, it's like, yeah, there's some shit going on or wrong here. But I do like the character that Robert Patrick played. He's like, everybody's like, well, what? Are you going to go against us or are you going to follow this king? I'm against you. And they all went after him, and he's like, fuck you, I'll best you all. Because he also did win the right to try to pull the stone from the sword. And I love that because the first Arthurian introduction... the sword, yeah. You know what I mean.
Sorry.
The first introduction to the Arthurian legends that I had was the movie The Sword and the Stone, the cartoon movie with the kid Arthur pulling the sword for whatever reason.
As children should be. Like, that should be your first, like the
Yes.
PG version. That should be your first,
With Mad Men.
And I love that Merlin, too. It's like, or I love the whole Merlin bit where it's like, say when. When? And then he's talking to Arthur and the thing just keeps on scooping sugar. When? Holy shit. And he has like a cup of sugar like this high above the thing. Yeah. But nah.
And his talking owl Archimedes.
Yeah. But this was a much darker version of the Arthurian legends.
Well, it's a more accurate version too because it is dark
accurate.
Anyway. Yeah.
But I did like this version for the most part. It's just that the pacing really stretched this fucking movie out.
Yeah,
and
a little bit.
I mean, it's like Arthur was standing above Guinevere and Lancelot with Excalibur and stabs downward, and then you see frickin' Merlin with a sword through his back, and it's like, what the fuck? Did he just kill those two? Then it turns out that he didn't, but I'm like, so why did that happen to Merlin?
Because at the time, Merlin was trying to curse Morgana, and the sword is tied to the quote-unquote dragon that is the source of all magic in that particular version. And as Arthur is casting the sword down into the stone between the two of them, the world is essentially the dragon, the sword is the dragon, and obviously Merlin was using magic at the time.
It also depends on the person's use of the sword. It should not be used in malice. And at that point, it was used in malice.
Yeah, but also the fact that Merlin is such a powerful wizard, or as they say it in this particular version, the necromancer. But a necromancer is a person who specializes in spells that reanimate the dead. But that's beside the point. I've done a bit of digging on this particular aspect, why that particular sequence happened, and I've spelled it out a little bit here, but to kind of tie it up in a nice little bow.
Possibly.
Essentially, because the sword and the magic and the dragon are all tied together. When Arthur puts the sword into the stone or stabs it into the ground, he's stabbing the dragon, and because Merlin is using magic at that particular time, trying to curse Morgana, it leaves him exposed to his link Morgana's with magic. Yeah, and that's why he gets stabbed by the sword. It makes him vulnerable to Morgana's attack.
All right, got it. But yeah, then Mordred, and I'm sorry, the killing of Mordred and Arthur at the same time. Arthur just fucking walks into the spear. That's just stupid. I'm sorry. As much as I like this movie, it does have some pretty dumb fucking moments. And it's like...
But it is accurate.
He grabs it and he just pulls it into him. And then he pulls it into him more. Now I get the whole point. Got to get close enough to kill the kid. But it's like, dude, no. You grabbed it and you thrust it into yourself. Why didn't you grab it, move it over to the side, and then stab your fucking kid? I mean, seriously now. But yes, I get the accuracy of the story and whatnot that they both had to die. I get that. You're right. I do get it. But
although
honestly,
technically,
I also thought in the book, didn't Arthur get stabbed in the head?
Not that I'm aware of.
Could have sworn. I mean, I looked it up on Google.
I might be wrong.
He gets stabbed in the head.
I might be wrong, but I don't believe so.
What the fuck? But yeah.
Well, but here's the thing too. According to the legend, he didn't actually actually stay dead. Because there's a reason the book is called The Once and Future King. Because there is a legend
because
that...
I believe his spirit was embodied into Excalibur.
Well, not only that, because if you, at the end of the movie, you see the three witches or whatever it is, and everything take him away to Avalon.
Avalon, yep.
Yep.
Which is
I
mentioned
always saw
in
them
another
as the
movie
three like fates. I don't know, maybe that was just my take, but like yeah, the
That's
witches,
that's not inaccurate either. Because here's the thing.
musical.
There's actually a video that discusses all the different aspects of the Arthurian legend. It's on a channel called Overly Sarcastic Productions. They do a very good. They've done like a pair of videos digging into the Arthurian legend and all the other legends that make it up. I suggest everything. If you're really a fan of, I can actually send you the link if you want to include it in the description for this. I'll say it to us on the DM in the DM group and everything. I'll send you a link to those videos or even to the channel because they've done a lot of good work and everything on their channel. They do a lot of breakdowns on little stuff like this and literature and so on. So, but beside the point.
I know the movie that we're going to discuss next week.
What are we going to discuss?
Speaking of Avalon,
Okay.
yeah,
Say
Dragonheart.
Yes!
ooh, yeah.
Yes!
Dragonheart. Yeah.
Yes! And there was indeed
one of my favorite movies.
Yes!
And folks, when I say one of my favorite movies, I mean I cry like a bitch when Draco dies.
Yes!
You cannot count yourself amongst humanity with emotion if you can watch that movie with a dry eye throughout. Let's just say that.
Well, not
the
to
music
mention,
in that movie
yes,
is so freaking well known. They put it in the Mulan trailer from the original Mulan cartoon movie. They put it in all sorts of other movie trailers. Holy crap! That movie.
Not to mention you've got Dennis. Not to mention you got Dennis Quaid. You've got young David Thewlis. You've got Carrie Russell. You got Peter Postlethwaite. Oh my gosh, yes.
Postlethwaite.
Thank you. Yeah, Peter Postlethwaite, also well known for his. Huh?
Turn the other cheek, brother. If you know, you know. If you know,
yes, I do know.
But we'll have to discuss that next week. But yes,
thank you.
I'll try to catch up on.
I'm excited.
Thank you for coming in, Hatersaurus, man.
Hey, Hatersaurus, good to see you, as always.
But yeah, dude. Yep. But yes, tomorrow, folks, no stream, no nothing. However, coming up on Tuesday afternoon, I will be doing my top pick of 2024, Alien Romulus.
I will catch the replay
yes,
because I'll be at work. But I definitely want to hear your thoughts on that because I wanted to see that. I didn't get a chance to. I
will be discussing some heavy spoilers.
That's okay. I'm okay with spoilers because I'm still gonna watch it. I don't care either way.
But yeah, so far I've done Sonic 3 and Beetlejuice. This one will be Alien Romulus. And yes, folks, to reconfirm, Deadpool and Wolverine is not among my top picks. If there were 5 Tuesdays in January, it would have been, but it's not. So yes, you'll actually be surprised on what my top pick or my final or my top fourth or my fourth pick was. But yeah, that's coming up on Tuesday. I believe we are in the third week of January now. So Wednesday at 8:00, Mara Jade's channel. We'll be discussing Rocky. And Thursday, 8:00 on X, exclusively on my account on Orange Hat 2185, we will be discussing Alita, Battle Angel. So, and then next week is Rocky 2 and Warm Bodies with Nick Holt and Teresa Palmer.
I need to see that.
Funny as fuck.
I've heard that.
If you like zombie flicks. It's a zombie chick flick that I actually. It's a zombie chick flick that I actually like. Yeah.
So you mean like Shaun of the Dead?
That's not a chick flick.
It could
But
be
it is a
considered
zombie
because it's a,
flick.
but it's a well the way it's titled, it's a romantic comedy placed inside of a zombie movie.
All
If
right,
you
yeah,
remember
that
the
works.
one of the taglines.
I haven't seen the movie in a while, so. But yeah,
Fair enough.
so that's what I got coming up. Plus, Orange Hat Uncensored. If I am not busy Friday. Unfortunately, Friday I was busy. I couldn't do Uncensored with Janet from Another Planet and Ruben. So definitely check out her shit show, which is where I mirror that off of. But other than that, I will try to get videos out. Most likely, I wanted to do a discussion on Gaiman Hansu tonight. Because Jaimin Hansu, he's a great actor. It's just that he said some really stupid shit recently. And I'll probably do a video on that or something. But yeah. Is there anything that anybody else wants to give final thoughts on the movie? How about we score this movie? We're not even going to do objective or subjective. We'll go pure subjective. How would you score it out of 10? First, ladies first, nerd go.
Objective, not subjective.
No, going pure subjective.
Pure
We're not
subjective.
even doing. Yeah.
9.
Objective, this movie stuff. All right. Ambassador.
Due to the pacing issues, I might give it an 8, but I still love this movie.
Me, folks, 9, 8. Well, I'm going to go 7. Subjectively, this movie is a 7 out of 10. Objectively, this movie is a 5 out of 10. This movie is a failure. Objectively speaking, it is a failure because the pacing, there is a couple of editing issues. There is some acting that could have been a little bit better, but for the most part, this movie was really flawed. Choreography was also a problem in this movie. But you know what? It's 80s. It's Arthurian legend. It's Shakespeare writing. So yeah. But yes, I'm sorry. Objectively, the movie is a failure. Subjectively, it is a 7 out of 10 for me. I checked, I was bored watching it. I got bored watching it, and I'm sorry, but if that happens, loses major subjectivity points.
It happened.
But with that out of the way, still trying to get back to 1600 because apparently somebody got either unsubbed from me or got unsubbed from me. And well, yeah. Just make sure that you're all subbed to me so I can get to 2,000 subs by the end of this year. And if I get to 2,000 subs by the end of this year, I will do a giveaway. And you will have a chance to win some pretty good frickin' binoculars. Just don't look in people's houses with them, you perverts.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Don't be
a
Dang it, nerd. You beat me to it by 2 seconds.
Oh, sorry.
Say it. Go ahead, say it. Say it louder.
No. I already said it first. You get to say it a second time for Orange.
Don't be a Gaiman.
Anyway, folks, thank you for tuning in. Ambassador, you got anything coming up?
Well, later this week I'll be just recording my review with my friend Ace. Or anything we'll be discussing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Then next Monday I'm gonna be going live with my old friend MB Geek. We're gonna be discussing, as I mentioned earlier, The Relic and The Count of Monte Cristo. And then I've got a couple other things in the works or anything, but that's what's coming up. Most is coming up sooner.
Count of Monte Cristo should also be a movie that we discuss soon because that movie is like one of the best revenge movies ever. That is the quintessential revenge story.
Yes. You know, if you're not free, if you're free next Monday, you could join us if you want to. Just saying.
What time will it be?
Probably be in the afternoon. More than likely.
What time in the afternoon?
I haven't nailed down a time with MB as of yet. I'll get back to you.
All right. Because if I'm available, I will join. Because yes, that is a movie that I absolutely love.
Well, we're doing
I don't have to
doing the
rewatch it. Yeah.
we're doing the Relic and
Yeah.
Count of Monte Cristo both.
At the same time.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. I'm doing a double feature. I've done those in the past.
All
We've
right.
actually
Yep.
done
Double
I
features.
think we've so
Yes. Anyway, folks, that will be all for me and the panel here. Make sure that you sub to Ambassador. Get him to 1,000 subs this year. He deserves it. He really does. I think
I would
that
appreciate
he
it.
has. Yeah, I think that he should have been at 1,000 last year, but unfortunately, the algorithm hates us. But yep,
Yeah,
tomorrow I want you all to rejoice.
Yes.
Because, well, it will be a happy day for many, and it will be the end of times for others. I'm hoping that Donald Trump sues Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez after her statements of claiming that he is a rapist. So, yes, I do hope that she gets sued. Yes, Ambassador.
I was just gonna say I did not come up with this meme, but I think it's proper. We will be unbidened by what has been.
Yep. And we will be seeing the once and future president, which I had turned into a meme a while back after he got or before he even got elected. Huh?
Also, the 28th Amendment is not a thing.
Yeah, that will, or you cannot do an amendment without, or unless you have 3/4 of the Senate. So,
and then ratification from the states. Yeah. You can't just.
That 28th Amendment shit is going out the fucking window.
It's not a thing.
Anyway, folks, that's all there is for tonight. Y'all have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and always remember to stay humble. Have a good night. Peace.
Are you done? Are you done?